Thank you for that. I want to turn your attention now to tax policy. As you might imagine, our small business members all over the country deeply concerned with tax policy. And I'd like to ask you specifically, the tax cuts that were passed in 2017, as you know, expire in 2025, early in the next president's term. Where does the Haley tax policy take the country? What does that look like? And a related question, in a closely divided Congress, how do you get Congress to come along to your point of view on what American tax policy should look like?
I think America needs an accountant, not a lawyer. I'm an accountant. And, you know, accountants look at a whole story. We don't just look at how you fix this part or this part. We look at 10, 20, 30 years down the road, where do you want to go? And we need to look at a few things in our economy, and also looking at a few things when it comes to tax policy. So first, let's look at the fact we're $32 trillion in debt. We're having to borrow money just to make our interest payments. China owns some of that debt. And while I would love to tell you Biden did that to us, our Republicans did that to us too. We know that when they spent that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill, they expanded welfare, giving us 90 million Americans on Medicaid and 42 million Americans on food stamps. Social Security will go bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare will go bankrupt in 8. So the first thing we have to do is stop the spending, stop the borrowing, eliminate the earmarks, and I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't go back to pre-COVID levels. When it comes to tax cuts, we should extend the tax cuts. But let's focus on how we get more money in people's pockets. So, yes, we should go and make sure that we expand those tax cuts further so that we can simplify it. As an accountant, you shouldn't have to have an accountant go and do your tax return. You should be able to do it simply and easily and know exactly what you're supposed to do. And they've made it so complicated because government has picked winners and losers. Let's go back to where we put more money in the pockets. And the way we do that is we bring this inflation down. Let's not be energy independent. Let's be energy dominant. And then let's go and take all of the federal programs that we have in D.C. right now and send them down to the states. Send that money down to the states so that you reduce the size of the federal government and you empower the people on the ground in the states. That's what we have to do. Think education, think healthcare, think benefits. If we did all of those things, you really are reducing the overall big animal in D.C. And look at the power you would give people and businesses in the states to be able to spend that money on their own.